And we are back. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a slight technical glitch. But we get back to all the action happening at the moment, so do apologize for it. Unfortunately, looks like the computer decided to do its own thing. And do apologize deeply for the inconvenience. See how our race is going. Ryan Otten's up into first place with SES Hayes 18.4 seconds behind. Bego Krobler followed by Nicholas Manuel, Mac van der Merwe, Hannes van Veek, Andre Serradio, Grant Sebastian, Morgan McCall, Loic Randabel, followed by Brandon Kruger, Ronaldo Boersma, Sunjin Pillay, Justin Lotus, Tini Nkube, Cameron de Bastos, followed by Christian Deploy, Bernard Barkhuizen into the pits for his second last stint. And Daniel Rowe also getting his car sorted out, so he's heading back out onto the circuit. He's moving up into 18th place. So a couple of drivers going and jumping their way back in. So we do apologize once again for the, well, all I can say is unfortunate event that's happened. It does look like something gave up. Moving our way through. Ryan Otten's hoping to get a little bit more of a run and break away from SES Ace as he makes his way around one of his teammates. And I think that was Justin Lotus who gave him a little bit of a gap there and said, all right, you go on ahead. And let's see how it all moves on as our drivers make their way through. SES Ace in second place, Bego Krobler out in third place, Nicholas Manuel up into fifth place is Mac van der Merwe, followed by Hannes van Veek, Andre Serradio, Grant Sebastian in 8th place, 9th place, Morgan McCall, Brandon Kruger in 10th place, trying to claw back what was lost at the start. Sunjin Pillay all over the back of Loic Randabel at the moment, and hoping to try and get a little bit closer to Loic Randabel, getting into the toe, moving his way along. Loic just trying to keep a tight inside line at the moment, hoping that that's going to be just enough to keep back Sunjin Pillay. Sunjin tried going underneath him, the Hybrid Academy driver, not able to get around the Ocelot Esports driver, running very similar lap times between the two of them all race long. And now it's up for the charge, but it does look like Loic Randabel managing to get one of the pit stops out of the way and getting the jump. So on a similar pace to Pillay at the moment, as it does look like Ryan Otten's starting to close down. Grant Sebastian, though, goes piling off into the dirt, and that's allowed Morgan McCall to get by. So what on earth happened to Grant Sebastian? And I think maybe he caught a little bit of a tank slapper. Sunjin Pillay still all over the back of Loic Randabel. Now leader Ryan Otten is going to have to try and figure out where can he get by this amazing little battle that is happening. So Loic trying to get away. Sunjin starting to open up, and I think he got a little bit of team communication saying, listen, Ryan Otten is behind you. You need to get a little bit more momentum and get a little bit more up down the road, fighting his way through. So Ryan not getting caught out, tries for the inside line. Sunjin giving him more than enough room and probably going to try use him as a wrecking ball. So Ryan Otten's managing to sneak on by, and in doing so, while going a little bit slower, Justin Lotus slowly creeping up in the background, trying everything he can to just do a little bit more. But keep an eye on this man over here, Daniel Rowe, down in 18th. He was driving with quite a bit of damage on the car, has done all his pit stops, and now can focus on just getting the momentum. 47 minutes into the race, Hannes van Veek has actually jumped into the pits. Bernard Barkhuizen has been in the pits for quite some time as well, so he's really out of the race, it seems. Andre Serradio followed by Morgan McCall coming across the line. Grant Sebastian also moving up a position. Loic Randabel dealing with Sanjan Pillay. Sanjan just getting a little bit too close to him through the corkscrew and not able to get that momentum, getting a bit of an aero wash underneath him and landing up, falling off into the dirt. So he's got to be so careful with just how he approaches that Porsche. As our drivers try and close down the gap. Andre Serradio dealing with Morgan McCall. Morgan trying to go up on the inside. Does so, makes it stick absolutely beautifully. Andre Serradio saying, let's go, out the way, move around and get going. One person who's also out in the chat is old Reginald. So let's go. So unfortunately, it does look like Reginald, who races in our Pro-Am, seems to be out of the race. Or he's doing a Kleinon style in SMSing while he's in the pits. Not quite sure, it could be one of the two. Reggie going and putting in some support for his team. And going and putting out some support for his fellow drivers, so good to see. And Reginald actually saying, unfortunately, load shedding taking him out of the run. Grant Sebastian getting past Andre Serradio, who's into the pits now, trying to get his pit stop done and dusted. As we take a look at, this is Tini and Kube, who ran out wide. Cameron de Bastos managing to get by, but it does look like there might have been slight contact between the two. Let's jump back about 30 seconds. Cameron catching up to Tini and Kube. Tries for the inside line, couldn't make it stick. And Kube managing to hold his position into the toe now, pulling himself along, trying to get a little bit more momentum. And it does look like both of them follow each other through. A little bit of tunnel vision of who can get on the brakes first. And unfortunately, both of them decide to go play in the sand. As our drivers make their way through. So, Bastos making up one position. Nicholas Manuel losing out to Bego Krubler, who's up into third place now. With a little bit of an interesting race going on. Morgan McCall has got one stop to go, and he's lying in 6th place at the moment, trying to close down. Ryan Otten, so, has opened up a 22, you heard me right, 22.3 second gap between himself and SESAs, which means if he can open up 30 seconds, he can get in and out the pits with a minor fuel stop to go and sort out his fuel stop. So he's opening up that gap to try and run away, our champion for the RaceFace GT3 Sprint Series, looking to make an impact and to go and really go and put a little bit of salt in the wound. I mean, some massive salt. Bego Krobler, his teammate, who's second in the championship, is in a losing fight against Ryan Ottens. Does look like Tini and Kube, though, has got a 30-second stop go. So he goes back into the pits, and that tells me he's been in the pits and landed up with that stop-go penalty. So just getting a little bit too early on the button has cost Nkube lots and lots of time and really put the hurt into him. 43 minutes left of this race. So the driver's really having to slug it out. So far, 36 minutes really flying into it. 43 minutes really to get going. Grant Sebastian all over the back of Brandon Kruger and trying everything he can to just really close down. Grant Sebastian not making it. So let's see how it turns out as they make their way through. Does look like Kruger starting to open up the gap. Andre Serradio with Sanjan Pillay all over the back of him. Sanjan trying to look for that inside line, hunting it down low. Randabel goes off though, into the wall. Randabel into the wall. That has allowed Sanjan Pillay and the likes of Andre Serradio to get by. Justin Lotus also capitalizing on that and jumps up. So, unfortunately, for the likes of the little Porsche, it landed up spinning off into the wall and putting a bit of hurt onto it. And, just the tail end snapping out underneath him has cost him a valuable amount of time. Lake Randabel managing to make up a position because Justin Lotus says, well, I'm going to head into the pits, get myself sorted out. Cameron de Bastos also coming by. and making up a position ahead. So, now let's see how it all turns out. Really going and making a bit more momentum as drivers give it everything they got. Nicholas Manuel 1.6 seconds behind Bago Crawler at the moment. Sanjay Pillay 1.1 seconds behind Andres Seradio. So 10th and 11th, very close to one another. Cannot forget 16th and 17th, which is Daniel Rowe and Hannes van Veek. Also another one of the closest battles we have currently out on circuit. But all eyes are going to be out onto the front as we've got Daniel Rowe, who's completed all of his pit stops, diving up on the inside. Sanjay Pillay trying to get past Andres Seradio, managing to make it second. Andres Seradio trying to come back at him side by side out of the corkscrew. These two not giving an inch, and oh, there's a contact between the two. Does look like Sanjan's able to keep it out the wall. Andres Seradio manages to keep it going, and they both line themselves up side by side once again. So after a bit of contact, Andres Seradio and Sanjay Pillay saying, how's it? That was a little bit of a rough one. Let's just keep going now. It's absolutely incredible stuff. But it shows the fight and also the tenacity between the two, that even with a slide, they're going to go and keep the fight up. And also a little bit of a gentleman of, made the mistake, my bad, you come by, we'll go for the fight again. You know, round number 2, as we can put it. So absolutely incredible stuff. But that has allowed Loic Randabal to get right onto the back of Andre Seradio as he makes his way by Grant Sebastian coming out of the pits. So he's trying to get himself going. That pit being an absolute nightmare to get in and out of. Loic Randabal all over the back of Andre Seradio. Does look up on the inside. Couldn't make it stick though. Trying to carry through. Is the Porsche going to be okay having that much aero taken away from it with the likes of the Mercedes putting a lot of turmoil behind him in terms of airflow, and now trying to keep it all together. This is for the final round of the Grid Championship, brought to you by Mettlestate and RaceFace. And a big shout out to all our sponsors. Big shout out to Mettlestate. That, remember, Cody Sherrod, who has won the championship, has walked away with some massive bragging rights and also a bit of a prize pool as well. So congratulations to him. Battle for second place, so still on for a lot of these drivers. Side by side, Andre Seradio, Loic Randabal, who's going to be later on the brakes. Andre Seradio trying to come by, slightly tucks up on the inside, and Loic just narrowly holding on to his position as Andre Seradio trying to come back into the fight, get back into the fray of this little battle. Keep an eye on Morgan McCall though, 6th place at the moment and has got one more pit stop to go. He is currently lying around about 5 seconds. He's actually pulled into the pits. Mac van der Merwe's pulled into the pits, so that's 5th and 6th into the pits. At the same time, who's going to come out on top? Well, we're about to find out between the two and see who's got the shortest pit stop between them. Brandon Kruger moving himself back up into 5th place. Keep an eye on Andre Seradio and Loic Randabal, and Sanjay Pillay just looking in his mirrors saying, listen, whatever you guys doing, I'm going to just keep around it up. If you go on board, you can just see in the camera to the right hand side his review. You can see the drivers getting a little bit closer, and he's like, I don't want anything to be part of it. Well, Loic Randabal actually pulling into the pit, so he's opting to get his pit lane done and dusted. That allows Andre Seradio to get by. See Andre Seradio going to be getting out ahead of Morgan McCall and keeping up the momentum. Sanjay Pillay also moving up a position. Mac van der Merwe trying to get out onto the circuit as quick as possible as he gets himself going. So let's see how the battle between them really sticks up. That Mac van der Merwe managing to get a bit of a run. Bago Crawler up into 1st place. Nicholas Manuel into 2nd. Ryan Ottens coming out of the pits. He spends quite a bit of time in the pits actually, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time as Bago Crawler is going to keep up the momentum. Ryan Ottens was actually in the pits for 32 seconds in the box, which tells me that Porsche has got a fresh pair of tires put onto it and hoping to get maybe into that 121 as we saw getting into the 120s in qualifying. Ryan Otten's also making his way through, looking to try and get a little bit closer to Nicholas Manuel. He's 18.8 seconds behind. Brandon Kruger doing everything he can. SA's pulling into the pits. He's got Mac van der Merwe trying to close down the gap, with Sanjin Pillay following very close behind. Andre Serradio in 8th place. 9th is Morgan McCall. And Grant Sebastian in 10th place. Andre Serradio actually pulling into the pits. SESA is coming out of the pits now, having to just be very cautious. And you can see down into first gear. Really got to sling the car in and try and get yourself going. So, this is turning into a race of note for all the drivers. And as many people are saying, our pro tier really putting on a phenomenal show for the final round of the Grid Championship Season 2. And ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to be a part of this and want to have a bit of fun, we do welcome you to the Grid Championship heading in, and also with RaceFace. We have got multiple tiers racing out. We have got our pros, which we currently have out on circuit. We have our Pro-Am, our Am, our Silver and Gold tier. 5 tiers all running to ensure that anyone can race with anyone that is the same pace as them. Learn, grow, get faster, and also a relegation system that really helps you climb up through it. Ryan Otten starting to catch up, and I think that is Christian Deploy just ahead of him. Christian Deploy dropping a wheel onto the dirt, and he's going to be opening up a little bit of a gap. Not too easily, though, to Ryan Otten. Remember, they're two rival teams. Christian Deploy is trying to make things a little bit more challenging for Ryan Otten and saying, listen, buddy, if you really want to come by with it, you got to get a little bit of momentum. I'm not going to lose time thanks to you. Going up into the corkscrew, late on the brakes, and Ryan Otten's just managing to sneak it in. As Christian Deploy says, okay, thank you. Move on ahead, and that's allowing his teammate to close down a little bit more time. Mac van der Merwe chasing down Nicholas Manuel at the moment as he gets a little bit more of a drive. Brandon Kruger exiting the pits. So, Morgan McCall has completed all his pit stops. Brandon Kruger completes all his pit stops. Ronaldo Boersma, Daniel Rowe, Hannes van Veek, Cameron de Bastos, Loic Randebel, Justin Lotus, Andre Serradio, all have completed their pit stops. We're down to 18 cars, 20 cars started, and due to some unfortunate mechanical problems or connections dropping out, as we unfortunately had a connection issue, guys going and really sticking out and joining us in the chat. It's good to see them out on twitch.tv/Mettlestate, as we see Cameron de Bastos battling out with Loic Randebel. Sanjin Pillay trying to come out and just seeing this little battle. He's hoping to come by, and Sanjin Pillay, well, don't quite know what he was trying to do there. Launching out of the pits in a very unique way. That's all I can say. There's a lot of corners that you've got to go through. Loic going and dropping a wheel onto the dirt, and he loses out a position to Justin Lotus and Sanjin Pillay, and now has got Andre Serradio closing down on him. Ronaldo Boersma, Grant Sebastian also close to one another, and it's turning into a bit of a battle between the two of them as they make their way around the circuit. Ronaldo Boersma just keeping a little bit of distance away. Ryan Otten, so back into first place. Bego Krobler 34 seconds behind. Now, if I can tell anyone that started into racing and knowing what 34 seconds is on a racetrack, well, they've gone from using a stopwatch to tell the difference between you in second place, and they've started using a calendar. Ryan Otten's is currently in December. Bego is in March. Ryan Otten's is miles ahead. He's already heading into the holiday season. Bego Krobler is just waiting to catch up into that holiday season. And that's the difference between them. 7.2 seconds behind Bego Krobler is SES de Hayes, who's been putting a consistent effort with the little Honda, along with Nicholas Manuel down in fourth place with Mac van der Merwe trying to chase him down. Remember, the championship is Bego Krobler, Ryan Otten's, and Mac van der Merwe trying to make an impact here. They've got to ensure that they can keep the momentum. Taking a look at the time, so Ryan Otten's bringing it down into a 121.9 after 33 laps. So the new pair of tires has really gone and dialed that car in, where the likes of Bago Krobler still managing out those 123s, 122s. So Ryan Otten's really turning up the wick and trying to get away from the rest of the field, which is absolutely amazing to see it. And Mac van der Merwe trying to close down on Nicholas Manuel. Remember, the top 5 have still got to do a pit stop, with the likes of Morgan McCall down in 6th place. Keep an eye on him, along with Brandon Kruger, who's in 7th place, along with Ronaldo Boersma in 8th, have done their mandatory pit stops. They've gotten both mandatory pit stops out the way, where our top 5 still have to do one mandatory pit stop for this race. And that does change things. Mac van der Merwe diving into the pits, though, just talking about it. And that's going to allow Morgan McCall, who managing to get by. So Morgan McCall saying thank you very much, rubbing his hands with glee after getting by. And so is Brandon Kruger at this point is going to be rubbing his hands with glee, seeing Mac van der Merwe into the pits. That Audi now taking on a bit of fuel, and I think is going to be taking on some tires as well to get himself sorted out. As a lot of drivers do say, this track goes and starts destroying the front tires. You start battling with more and more understeer as time goes on. Mac van der Merwe trying to get out, and let's see, this pit stop has, the pit lane has caught a couple of people out, like Sanjan Pillay. Mac van der Merwe just managing to get by, but really a hard acceleration as he's trying everything he can to get a little bit closer to Grant Sebastian, who's ahead of him. Grant Sebastian now try and make moves. So Grant Sebastian still got one mandatory pit stop, so he's not in the race with it. Christian Deploy, though, chasing down behind, also with one more mandatory pit stop to go. So a lot of the drivers getting their pit stops out the way. SESA is pulling into the pits. That's going to allow Nicholas Manuel to inherit that 3rd place and saying thank you very much. I'm going to get a little bit more of a run. Morgan McCall, though, also coming by and saying, listen, I'm going to get going, as he launches past, taking the likes of 4th place away from SESAs and saying thank you. I'm going to keep going. Remember, both Morgan and Essie now don't have to put. Brandon Kruger also saying, listen, he's going to get by. So Essie dropping way down the order. Ronaldo Boersma coming by. SESAs leaving the pit lane. It's going to be close between the two, but I do think the McLaren has got the advantage, making his way through. Essie trying to get a little bit more momentum, knowing what's behind him. Ronaldo Boersma is going to have the drive, though, but it does look like Essie managing to get a little bit ahead of Ronaldo Boersma. Ronaldo not hanging back and is going to be fighting it out. Bago Krobler doing everything he can to try and close down the time, but 36.4 seconds behind Ryan Ottens is a long call. Nicholas Manuel actually 12.6 seconds behind Bago Krobler at the moment. Morgan McCall 9.4 seconds behind Nicholas Manuel. 6 seconds behind him is Brandon Kruger. 10 seconds behind is SES Days. 1.4 seconds behind is Ronaldo Boersma. So going and changing things up a little bit there as they fight their way through. Keeping on an incredible charge as I see a lot of people jumping into both twitch.tv/Mettlestate and RaceFace.Pro YouTube. And remember, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. It does look like Loic Randabel, though, dropping into the dirt once again and dropping way down the order. So what on earth happened to the little Porsche? 28 minutes to go, and this is not the mistakes you want to be having at the moment. Loic's just been having a difficult race. Did it go and snap underneath him? Makes his way through. There's a little bit of a twitch from the Porsche. Managing to keep it all going. Justin Lotus and Andre Serradio doing what they can. And oh, there's a snap oversteer from the likes of Loic Randabel, slightly caving into the wall. Andre Serradio and Justin Lotus a little bit further ahead. We're battling as we see Bago Krobler come by. But Andre Serradio dropping a little bit further back. Ronaldo Boersma off into the dirt. He was in a monstrous chase. So what on earth is going on? The drivers now starting to feel this 1 hour 20-minute race coming into play. the fatigue starting to kick in. Multiple different factors coming in. Build up of lactic acid in the legs. Your brakes now starting to feel like they're 400 kilograms of force to go and push into the ground. Your steerings, whether it be a G29 using the gear system, or what a lot of these drivers have moved up into is our direct drives, and is now fighting it out, building up lactic acid in the arms, starting to feel all the aches and pains. And considering a lot of these drivers have been up and dealing with work, now starting to feel very, very worn out as they fight their way around the circuit. It is going to be a very difficult race for everyone. So, now I want to know from you guys at the moment with Cody Sherritt, who's taken the championship for the race of the Mettlestate Grid Championship Season 2. Ryan Otten's currently duking it out with Bago Krobler. Remember, this is a fight for second place in the championship. Ryan Otten's really making sure what he can do. But moving on to it, what would you guys like to see heading into our next seasons? What's going to be the better option? What's going to be the new cars to keep an eye out for? What are going to be the drivers to keep an eye out for? And this is where we'd like to have you guys, the spectators, also starting to figure out when is Ryan Otten's going to pit, Bago Krobler, and Nicholas Manuel going to pit. The two teammates versus Nicholas Manuel of Beamer World, the former ZAR driver. I think he is still part of the ZAR team. That's with Mr. Devin Delport, who goes in a race. So let's see how they're going to work out where it all moves forward. Grant Sebastian down into 8th place. He's diving into the pits to get his pit lane sorted. Well, he's pit sorted. Mac van der Merwe coming by, and I think Christian Deploy is going to be following suit very, very quickly. Yep. And Grant Sebastian going to drop down. So it's going to be an exciting run to the line. Not for first place, though. Nearly 40 seconds between himself and second place. I mean, there's a shot. Bago Krobler making his way out of the corkscrew. Ryan Otten's, well, he's done the corkscrew. He's completed for turn 1, turn 2. He's now into turn 5. So just a monstrous showing from him. Morgan McCall into the wall, though. Massive, massive damage to McCall. What has happened to the Mercedes of Morgan McCall? And that has really put a massive ding into his car. So did the Mercedes slip underneath him? This GT3 Evo trying to keep it all together. Just goes out a little bit wide onto the dirt, trying to keep it, get it all going. Oh, snaps around on the dirt. Monster impact. And there is the huge, huge damage to the 80K Mercedes. An 80K driver, Morgan McCall, now having to pull into the pits because he has no other option at this point. And, oh man, heartache. And this is what the Laguna Seca does. The moment that you think you know the circuit, the moment you think, I've got this, I am going to complete the race. Laguna Seca says, listen, I'm not a tricky track for no reason. I'm not one that people fear for no reason. And it has the likes of a magnet attached to it. Daniel Rowe getting by, Hannes van Beek, Christian Deploy getting ahead of his teammate. Still got one mandatory pit stop. And it's just going to be an incredible one. I know that a lot of people are going to be talking about the updates coming soon, the new cars, the new Ferrari, and also the new Lamborghini Evo coming in. And that's going to change things up. Personally, I'm really looking forward to seeing what that Evo can do. Bago Krobler in second place. Nicholas Manuel in third. Brandon Kruger in fourth. SESAs. Ronaldo Boersma, Mac van der Merwe, Christian Deploy, Daniel Rowe, Hannes van Beek all in the battle. But Ryan Otten's 39.8 seconds ahead. And take a look at Loic Randebelt once again. Now having to go and throw down the gloves. Get back in. And is duking out with Justin Lotus just ahead of him. Justin Lotus going and missing out the apex a little bit. Loic really trying to put the drive in. That Porsche looking a little bit second-hand at the moment, but not letting any of this damage to it. And likes of Justin Lotus, who's also riding, looks to be a slight bit of damage to his BMW as he comes down the hill. Yep, a little bit of scuffle on his BMW as Loic trying everything, roundabout, inside, outside, and Justin Lotus keeping that car firmly planted to the middle, forcing Loic roundabout to go around the outside. Loic trying to do a little bit of a cutback side by side. Now heading into the final corner. Loic second guessing goes up on the inside. Little bit of bumping and barging between the two, and oh no! Does look like Justin Lotus gets tipped slightly into the wall, getting a bit of damage. He's able to get the momentum. Loic going and just having to try and get a little bit more momentum and actually let Justin Lotus by. Says, listen, my bad. That was me putting his hands up, and now having to do battle once again. Justin Lotus going, well, got a bit of damage to my car now, and I've got to duke it out for another fight. Ryan Otten's going past the pit lane again. 21 minutes left, or 30 seconds left of the race. Bego Krobler also making his way around. Nicholas Manuel keeping an eye when he needs to dive into the pits. But fastest lap time of the race set by Brandon Kruger, doing a 121.7 out of nowhere, which is faster than our leader. Daniel Rowe coming by. Christian Deploy now heading into the pits for his final pit stop to get it all done and dusted. As we jump back to the battle between Justin Lotus and Loic Randall, who Loic's been featured quite a bit here. He's been getting into some great action. Gets by Justin Lotus, who runs a little bit wide. And now Loic saying, thank you very much, I'll come by. They're getting very close to Christian Deploy, who is still in the pits. Loic actually getting a little bit of a jump on the curb there. And here comes Christian Deploy exiting the pit. Maybe the late pit stop hasn't helped him too much, but it looks like he may be able to get the drive out before Loic becomes a bit of a problem behind him. Morgan McCall in the pits, and looks like he has chosen to retire the car. Yep, Morgan actually retiring the car, unfortunately. And due to the monstrous damage that he experienced from the Mercedes just stepping out from underneath him. Sanjin Pillay after Cameron De Bastos, and quite fitting to see these two stallions, two Ferraris, duking it out. The Ocelot Esports team, Trujillo and Sanjin Pillay, driving the, well, I could say officially the old Ferrari. We did see the unveiling of the new Ferrari coming to Assetto Corsa Competizione, and I think it'll be the final time we'll see these two Ferraris out on the circuit, getting a bit of love before everyone swapping over to the newer car. So if you want to take a screenshot now, this would be the right time to do it. And even if we just blank it up there, two Ferraris coming by, absolutely stunning to see. They're getting by Hannes van Veekso's Grand Sebastian, and Cameron De Bastos not making it easy for Sanjin Pillay. Pillay tried going on the inside, couldn't make it stick though. Now trying to get a little bit more momentum as he fights his way around the circuit. Sanjin Pillay now looking to get a little bit more drive up against the back of Cameron De Bastos. Just losing it out, but the question is, when is our leader going to come into the box? He's got miles gap. He's got 42 seconds at this point. I mean, he can hang it in third gear for the rest of the race. I would reckon Bego Krobler, who's stressing at the moment, because come the championship points, Ryan Ottens may have just done enough to get ahead of Bego Krobler. Remember, Ryan Ottens and Bego Krobler battling it out, 6 points between them. This would be a very awkward Discord call if I was in the Hybrid Academy Dorama team. Because 1, really good for the championship. 2, not so good for the driver championship, knowing that your teammate pipped you at the line. Nicholas Manuel up in third place, still looking for his pit stop. He's only 10 seconds ahead of this man here, Brandon Kruger, who is willing to take the position away from Nicholas Manuel and hoping that he has done just enough to get into that top 3, possibly into second place if Bego Krobler has a bit of a slower stop. But it does look like Ryan Otten's turning up the dial to 11, looking to run away. Sanjin Pillay still keeping on the back of Cameron de Bastos. And it looks like Loic Randabel all over the back of Christian de Ploy. Christian de Ploy looking in his rearview mirror saying, listen, buddy, I would preferably like you a little bit off me for the final round of the Mettlestate Season 2 Grid Championship, and hoping to get a little bit more of a run up through the race. So absolutely incredible stuff for our drivers to slug it out right and down to the line. Ryan Ottens, though, is going to be beaming with a big smile ahead of Bego Krobler if he maintains the pace. 16 minutes left of the race. There's only a 12-minute and 50-second window gap that they are allowed to pit in. If you come into the pits after that, your pit stop does not technically count. And that means you're in for a world of hurt with a penalty. So you're looking at about 30 seconds to 50 seconds pit or penalty that can come out of it if you get it wrong. It does look like our top three starting to break away. Brandon Kruger, though, starting to close down the gap on Nicholas Manuel, dropping it down to 9 seconds, with SESA 16 seconds behind him. Ronaldo Bosma also doing what he can. Mac van der Merwe in 7th, 8th places. Daniel Rowe, remember Daniel suffered a huge amount of damage early on in the race, actually getting spun around, facing into the crowd, and unfortunately had the likes of his nose getting bumped into by Morgan McCall. It does look like Morgan McCall going and throwing in the towel, unfortunately suffering too much damage to his car. Going to be chatting to his teammate, though, giving in the support, and I know Robert is going to be chatting to Morgan McCall and saying, listen, we'll get him next time. Don't fret. We've got this. And I know Robert McCall is going to be going and chatting. Maybe we will see Junior McCall also joining in to have a bit of fun with it. Or maybe we're going to have all three McCall families. So we'll have Morgan, Junior, and Robert going and battling it out. So have the father and son all going and slugging out. Loic Randabel, though, well, I don't think that's where the track goes, but he once again landing off into the weeds. And I think just maybe a bit of error wash being caught behind the likes of the Merc, and just getting a little bit of a fishtail as the Porsche made its way through out of the corkscrew, running out a little bit wide, touching the dirt, and oh, there's the snap. There's the car, and into the escape road. Not hitting the wall, though, but losing out valuable positions at this point, trying to get restarted down into 15th place at the moment. And, oh, man, I can tell you one Porsche that is not going to be a very favored car. It might be a discussion with an angle grinder a little bit later. Let's take a look, though, at our winners and losers at the moment. Ryan Ottens maintaining from where he started. Bego Krobler up 1 position. Nicholas Manuel up 1 position from where he started. Brandon Kruger up 7 positions as he gets onto the back of Andre Serradio. Andre Serradio not making it easy for him to get by. SESA is down 3 positions from when he started, from 2nd down into the likes of 5th. Ronaldo Borsma up 6 positions. Mac van der Merwe down 2. Daniel Rowe up 5. Sanjin Pillay up 5. Cameron de Bastos up 7 positions. Started in 17th, now into 10th. Grant Sebastian in 11th. Christian de Ploy up 7 positions. Grant Sebastian actually down 2 positions. Justin Lotus down 2 positions. Andre Serradio down 6 positions. He was in 8th. He's now in 14th. 9 positions down. There's Loic Randabel, and 2 positions up. Bernard Barkhuizen, who is just keeping in the server and keeping himself going at this point, trying to collect whatever points possible. And maybe just put down the helmet, taking the gloves off, tuning into the stream, and having an ice cream. Very possible. As our drivers are really enjoying it. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're watching out on Mettlestate, out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mettlestate, make sure you go and hit the follow, go and hit the bell notification icon. Go show some love to Mettlestate with some amazing competitions that are coming out to it. And whether you like racing on 4 wheels, whether you like going and kicking a ball around the field, whether you like going and throwing a grenade across the entire field, Mettlestate has all the competitions for you. A big thank you to Mettlestate for the prize pool that we have. As we see Grant Sebastian going up on the inside. This is for position of Cameron de Bastos. Cameron Child going side by side. I know the hitman, De Villiers, is going to be watching this very closely and talking to the likes of Cameron de Bastos, saying, all right, listen, you got to load it up here. You got to really send it in. Get your eyes on the prize. Get him in the hairline, and there we go. Managing to get around Grant Sebastian, so losing out a little bit of drive, but able to pull it back right at the last. Still our top three yet to head into the pits, and it's going to be a difficult run for them. So who's going to have the run up? But it does look like Ryan Ottens has done enough. Ryan Ottens coming into turn 2, 47 seconds behind. There you go, Krobler. 15 seconds behind him. There's Nicholas Manuel trying to make up some positions as well. Grant Sebastian going everything he can around Cameron de Bastos. So, Brandon Kruger. Let's talk about this. He's up in 4th place. He is 5.9 seconds behind Nicholas Manuel. Possibility. Throwing this out there. If Bago Krobler gets a bit of a slow pit stop, which, taking a look, the pit stops at the moment, if you just put a bit of fuel in from entry to exit, is going to cost you 29 seconds, which means Brandon Kruger has a great opportunity to once again claw his way into 2nd place and get into the front and hopefully get a little bit of momentum. Taking a look in the background though, Loic Randabel, Andre Serradio. So Loic once again having to go and get into a fight. Andre Serradio going, listen, I think I saw your Porsche before. How come you're behind me again? And Loic just going, I'm really not having a fun race in terms of everything going wrong. Goes up on the inside. And Andre Serradio saying, listen, come on by. I'm not going to fight it out with you. The Project Vapor driver just saying he doesn't want to get too involved into the fight with the Porsche. He's just going to mount the pressure onto the back of him. Grant Sebastian going after the likes of Cameron de Bastos at the moment, really trying to close down the gap, do everything he can as we head into the final 10 minutes of this race. And Cameron de Bastos loses it through the corkscrew. That was under braking. Grant Sebastian moving up. Christian de Bloy also coming by. Cameron in the middle of no man's land, now having to try and get himself going. And as you see the likes of Nicholas Manuel coming by, Cameron de Bastos just having that car lighten up underneath him. The Ferrari going and kicking it out. It is going to be a difficult run to try and close down the gap of Christian de Bloy and Grant Sebastian after falling down nearly 7 seconds from that run. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left of the pit window, and it's down to Ryan Ottens, Bago Krobler, and Nicholas Manuel of when are they going to pit. Nicholas Manuel actually making his way around, so he's not opting to go into the pits. Bago Krobler definitely not. Ryan Ottens, though, well, he's starting to close down and possibly go for a pass. Brandon Kruger, though, doing the fastest lap time of the race, 1:21.9, and really trying to close in on everyone. So just really dialing it up now. This is from the second half. We saw 21.7 coming out a little bit earlier. Brandon Kruger, who originally started in 11th place, now up in to 4th place, 7 positions, and hoping that's going to be enough. Martin's still looking mighty fine out on the circuit. Tyres don't seem to be dropping off, but it is starting to close down on the likes of Nicholas Manuel, who is just a little bit up the road, about 4.5 seconds up the road. But we cannot go and count out to this man as well. Ronaldo Busma going after SESAs. Remember, SESAs was in 3rd place for quite some time as well, and really trying to make his way up through the field. He's now lying in 5th, and that's going to help him out. It does look like Nicholas Manuel is into the pits. Brandon Kruger comes flying by. He says, thank you very much. Is SESA going to have enough to get around and take 4th place away from the likes of Nicholas Manuel? trying to get a little bit more drive, and Ronaldo Borsma closing down. It does look like he's going to be able to get by. Nicholas Manuel still in the pits. SESS getting by Ronaldo Borsma. Nicholas Manuel down into 6th place. Brandon Kruger up into 3rd. Now it's on to Bego Krobler, who is 20 seconds up the road. When is he going to box? Because Brandon Kruger is a legitimate threat to Mac van der Merwe, getting past Nicholas Manuel, who's just managing to get going. Here comes Daniel Rowe saying, thank you very much, I'll take that. And Sanjan Pillay, I think, was a little bit too far back to try and capitalize. So, eyes back on to the front. Bego Krobler now diving into the pits. Brandon Kruger making his way through the corkscrew and trying to get round, and that looks to be Justin Lotus, who is just giving him a bit of grief with the corkscrew, and decides he's going to hit the brakes and say, well, come on by. Make it rather difficult. Brandon Kruger, Bego Krobler only just getting into the box now. Brandon Kruger now looking to come by. Has this been enough for him? Brandon Kruger taking 2nd place away from the likes of Bego Krobler. Loic Randabel getting past Andre Serradio. Andre Serradio now dealing with Ryan Ottens, who, well, still has not pitted and is going to come ahead of Bego Krobler. There's Bego Krobler lying in 3rd place. So Ryan Ottens has successfully passed 3rd place on the chase to go after Brandon Kruger up in 2nd place, and, well, making it sting for his teammate, because Brandon Kruger does not need to pit. Ryan Ottens, though, still needs to pit. I think he's got enough of a gap, well over a minute ahead of 2nd place Brandon Kruger, so he's got ample amount of time to pull into the pits, change tires, have something to drink, maybe go and send a text message or two. Bego Krobler just seeing that his championship has come to a little bit of a burn in front of him, as he's doing everything he can to allow Ryan Ottens to go and pull his way through. So Ryan Ottens really focusing on the charge now to just close down the gap between Brandon Kruger and the likes of Bego Krobler. But I think Ryan Ottens has successfully stolen 2nd place in the championship in the final race, and is now pulling into the pits. He knows he's done enough. Brandon Kruger making his way into turn 2. Bego Krobler down on the straight, chasing down Loic Randabel at the moment. 13.7 seconds, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left of the race. Ronaldo Borsma going after SESAs, hoping to get into that 4th place spot. But Ryan Ottens, I think, has done enough to secure 2nd place in the championship, which means Cody Sherritt would have 1st place of the grid championship season 2. Ryan Ottens robbing his teammate of 2nd place. There was only a 6-point difference, and Bego Krobler, currently in 3rd, is not going to be enjoying it. Brandon Kruger going to be hurting the chances and saying, well, hope it stings, buddy. Hope it stings. What a race. And what a season it has been, with all the cars to come right down to the wire, with the championship still open for 2nd place, is absolutely incredible stuff. Ronaldo Borsma going out a little bit wide, though, dropping a wheel close onto dirt. There we go. Jim going and radioing in, saying pit lane is now closed. They've now put the traffic cone in front and said, listen, if you're going to box, you're in for a world of hurt. Bego Krobler getting around Loic Randabel as he makes his way around the circuit. Loic actually sitting down in 14th position. 15 cars out on circuit, 20 started, and for a championship there has been really back and forth. 54 laps completed, and some serious mileage done by all the drivers. Absolutely incredible stuff. Ryan Ottens actually going and really laying in the hammer. Brandon Kruger out in 2nd place, getting past Cameron de Bastos. Bego Krobler in 3rd. SESA's in 4th place at the moment, with Ronaldo Borsma chasing him down. Mac van der Merwe in 6th. 7th is Daniel Rowe. 8th is Nicholas Manuel. Sanjan Pillay in 9th. And 10th place Grant Sebastian, followed by Christian Deploy, Cameron de Bastos, Justin Lotus, Loic Randabel, and Andre Serradio, currently in 15th position, as we run into the last remaining minutes of the race. I think our leader has got about a lap to 2 laps left in him. Currently doing 1:21.8 is his quickest lap time. And getting into the 1:22s, just trying to keep it all together. Last lap time 1:27 despite the pit stop. Absolutely incredible stuff. I can tell you as a silver driver who runs 1:27s, 1:28s, 1:26s, for him to do a pit stop and get going and run the same times as me, well, kind of leans into what a phenomenal drive our pro drivers have really been, and all season have been one to keep an eye out for all the drivers up and down through the championship. It has been close, not only in our pro tier, but also in our pro-am, our am, gold and silver, all landing up with some amazing racing. Points becoming so close between them all. It's truly been an honor to see it. 1 minute and 40 seconds left of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you head over to the Mettlestate or twitch.tv/Mettlestate. Actually, you know what? Challenge to everyone else on YouTube. Go and look up twitch.tv/Mettlestate. Go and subscribe, hit a follow, go and see all the amazing competition there. Also go and show a bit of love to Mettlestate, and go and get everyone from Mettlestate who's out on Twitch to come over to RaceFace.Pro and hit the subscribe button. It's not to be missed on both sides. And really, let's get to a bit of love sharing between the two. With 1 minute left of the race, Ryan Ottens will be closing down and will be informed soon enough, along with all the drivers. Jim will come on the air and say that the leader is on the final lap. Push, push, push. It seems like everyone has got into a rhythm. Justin Lotus a little bit ahead, just allowing Ryan Ottens to go through. Ryan not putting too much pressure on Justin Lotus as he slugs his way through. 41.5 seconds. Brandon Kruger up in second place has done enough to really secure the second place ahead of Dago Krobler. There's Jim telling us that the final lap. Cody Sherritt taking the championship first place, but it looks like Ryan Ottens has done enough to go and steal second place away from Dago Krobler. Dago managing to hold on to that third place at this rate. Finishing up in third place is going to be just enough, and I mean just. But we'll have to wait until the official results do come out. But I think it's pretty much confirmed. Ryan Ottens managing to secure second, and Cody Sherritt getting first place. Daniel Rowe, I do apologize, it's not Justin Rose, that's Daniel Rowe in the BMW Hybrid Academy Dorama car. We're again keeping it close with fellow Hybrid Academy driver. He's closing down on Mac van der Merwe, lying in 6th place. I do think that the reason why Ryan Ottens is giving a little bit of space to Daniel Rowe is to give Daniel Rowe an opportunity, one last lap, to go after Mac van der Merwe. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the final time, the checkered flag will come out, and taking first place for round number 8, the final round of the championship, is going to Ryan Ottens, and second of the grid. Mettlestate Grid Championship Season 2 goes to Ryan Ottens. Brandon Kruger will be taking second place at this rate as he makes his way into the corkscrew. 40 seconds behind if you want to talk about a dominating lead, but is really having a triumphant ride to the line. Going to be smiling. Dago Krobler going to be finishing up in third place. SES Ace still in a fight of his own with Ronaldo Boersma chasing him down. Ronaldo 1 second behind the little Honda SE of the ZRC team, doing everything he can to maintain the position. Ronaldo trying to make it stick, looking to try and go around the outside, not close enough just yet. Going to have to try and outbreak him, and this is where you lick it and send it and really go for the gold. Does look like SE not getting the drive. Ronaldo Boersma losing out a bit of drive, trying to go up on the inside, couldn't get the drive out. SE taking 4th place. Ronaldo Boersma into 5th. Mac van der Merwe dealing with Daniel Rowe And it looks like Daniel Rowe actually got overtaken before the line. So Daniel Rowe finishing up in 7th, back van der Merwe in 6th, Nicholas Manuel in 8th, 9th, Sunjan Pillay, Grant Sebastian, Christian Deploy, Cameron de Bastos, Justin Lotus, Loic Randabel, and Andre Serradio going and taking 50th. Absolutely incredible stuff. There's your results. Hannes van Wyk in 16th, 17th place is Morgan McCall, followed by Tini Akube, Bernard Barkhuizen, and Dean Kabasa out in 20th place. Actually getting reports that he's teammate. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, while we've got a bit of a burnout going on, give a massive congratulations to the drivers of the Grid Championship Series, brought to you by Mettlestate and RaceFace. Ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds done and dusted. And what a race it has been for every single one of these drivers. Wow. It's absolutely phenomenal stuff. Burnouts going on. Hybrid Academy getting 1st and 2nd in the team championship. And Christian Deploy going and making his way around in 11th place. Has moved his way up. Ryan Otson taking 2nd place, but congratulations to Cody Sherritt going and taking the championship for Season 2 of the Grid Championship, brought to you by Mettlestate. What a phenomenal run. I'm lost for words as we head back to the comm box. The engine's still roaring a little bit in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for an absolutely phenomenal season. It has been an absolute pleasure to be in the homes chatting to you guys, the drivers, the teams, the fans, spectators. And a big thank you, a big shout out to our sponsors, and a big shout out to Mettlestate for putting on a fantastic competition. Tenex Healy saying congratulations. So good to see that. Big thank you to Mettlestate for putting on a show. Guys, head over to twitch.tv/Mettlestate. Lots of competitions going on and not to be missed. And definitely if you're a big fan of first-person shooters, soccer, racing, whatever you want, head over. But, wow, frog in the throat. That's all I can say. Big shout out to all the RaceFace admin and all our media going out. Big thank you to everyone helping out in the background, whether you be a moderator and whether you're going and helping out with our background activities. Also, a big shout out to our co-commentator, Yellow Price, who wasn't here this evening, but does send his regards. He currently got lost out in the bushveld. Don't worry, we'll find him. It just will take a lot of searching. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the final time for the Season 2 Grid Championship, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We will see you same time, same place. Hit the subscribe button if you're out on YouTube. Go and hit the bell notification icon, also with a thumbs up on our road to 1,000 subscribers. And also head out to twitch.tv/Mettlestate for some amazing action coming later this year. We will see you next time. We'll see you same time, same place. And keep an eye out on all the social media for RaceFace and Mettlestate for any upcoming competitions and all competitions leading up to some future racing. My name is Stephen Koenig, and we'll see you next time.